Good afternoon. I'm Lois Olmstead, and we've known this family since the early days of Colstrip, and so I'm so grateful to be part of this memorial today. In these times, we have thanks to give. And before I say anything else, the family wanted you to know that they are so grateful that you're sharing this day with them. We begin with appreciation and thankfulness from Shannon's family, her sons, parents, and their friends, that they have appreciation for all of you. They've been overwhelmed by the kindnesses you, their friends and neighbors and co-workers, the town of Clyde Park and the entire county have given them support. You've given of your prayers, your visits, your gifts of donations and gifts of help in so many ways, and it's just been overwhelming to them, and they want you to know that, and besides, for you to be here with them today means the world. Part of Shannon's legacy with them in the days ahead is going to be you caring for them still, and we know that you will, so we thank you for that. And Heather, would you come please to read?
Shannon Jo Vincent, 42, died peacefully, surrounded by her family and the love of all of her friends on October 5th, 2024, after a courageous battle with leukemia. Shannon was born January 25th, 1982 to Errol and Sandy, joining her older brother, Ray. As a young girl, Shannon loved to dance and was involved in Razzle Dazzle dance team. In middle and high school, she was a straight-A student and athlete, participating in volleyball, basketball, softball, and track. She was also very involved in FFA. Shannon graduated from Shields Valley High School in 2000 and went on to study briefly at Montana State University. Go Cats. During this time, she also worked as a tech in the emergency department of Bozeman Deaconess Hospital, which sparked a lifelong passion for emergency medicine. Shannon transferred to Miles City Community College to study nursing and graduated with her degree in 2006. Shannon started her career as a registered nurse in the ER department at Northern Montana Hospital in Havre in 2007, where she worked until 2011. She continued her career as an emergency department nurse at Livingston Healthcare, where she worked for the next 12 years and took awesome care of me, by the way. In 2018, Shannon became a certified sexual assault nurse examiner, trained to advocate and provide specialized care for survivors of sexual assault. She was also trained and a dedicated member of the Park County Critical Incident Stress Management Team, working to provide stress debriefings for first responders following traumatic events. Shannon loved being an ER nurse and was passionate about caring for others and serving the community in which she was raised. Her boys, Jason and Peyton, were the lights of her life. She was a devoted mom who never missed a game or event for her boys. Jace, get that ball. And Peyton, knock the shit off. Were two of her frequent phases, more than frequent, actually. She loved her boys fiercely with her whole being and was so proud of Jason Peyton. Shannon never met a stranger. She made friends wherever she went, and had the ability to make all her friends and family feel special, supported, and valued. Her sense of humor, quick wit, shenanigans, and stories were legendary and could make even the most stoic person roll with laughter. Shannon loved road trips, baseball games, concerts, rodeos, cheering for the Rebels, seeing her friends, watching trashy TV, listening to country and 90s music, shopping, garage sales, and coffee, but most of all, her boys. Shannon possessed incredible strength, unwavering optimism, resiliency, and determination in all that she did in life. She leaves behind a legacy of love and service that will never be forgotten. Shannon is survived by her sons, Jason, Peyton, Paige, mom and stepdad, Sandy and Dennis Hogstad, dad and stepmom, Errol and Kathy Vincent, brother, Ray Vincent, stepdad, Glenn Godward, numerous aunts, uncles, cousins, and her many friends. Thank you.
Heather. I wanted to let you know just a little bit what's coming ahead. We're going to have the slideshow. After that, we're going to have some reflections and memories from families and some of you. And it's been my experience that if you're watching online or you're watching the video and you don't see who's speaking with those reflections and those memories, we're going to ask you to be tough, and that's what Shannon would say, and come up to this mic to share your reflections so that people can hear you and that can be a memory kept as well. So now keep your eyes on the screen. 42 years than most people do in 80 or 90 or 100. If that doesn't light your fire to live gloriously, I don't know what would. So we are going to have a time of sharing some memories and thoughts, and we'll ask the family first if any of you would like to come and share a few thoughts. Are you good? Okay, and how about some of the rest of you that are in this community and have just had joy in your life because of Shannon? Would you like to come up and share a thought or a memory, please? Good. Going once. We will have time afterwards to share. And oh good.
This is Barrett, and I'm Coach Fish's wife, and Shannon was the person that I always would go sit with at all the basketball games, and it was just the best because I always knew I could just find her and sit with her and then listen to all the hilarious things she would say throughout the whole game. And I'm really glad she got to meet Barrett because she was so excited. I was pregnant, and Shannon was just such an amazing person, and we really miss her.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle. I'm Shannon's aunt, married to her Uncle Tom. Shannon, I just want to say, I know you're in this room with us right now, and look at this. Look at all the love you shared. Look at what you did for your life, all the people that you touched, all the amazing memories that you've created. I know you and only you and one other person know when I say to you, I will forever, forever be grateful for the blessing that you gave my family. And I love you so much, and I know you're here, and you will always be with us. Thank you.
Well, where do we begin? I'm going to take us back to a basketball tournament we went to in Victor. Pure Shannon moment, just living the dream. So, Kira, my wife, those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick Jerky. She left us unsupervised, which is frowned upon in most establishments. So we headed into a bar. Said, we're having a wake. So me and Shannon are like, oh, well, let's just see what's going on. We need a drink, pretty thirsty. Long day of watching basketball, watching the boys, watching them win, excuse me. So we headed on in there. And a couple other friends were with us, and we walk in there, get a drink, and the funeral for the poor gentleman, his name was Mike Myers. If anybody know famous Mike Myers, it was, walk in there and, Shannon, we walk in there. We signed the guest book, so I got to back the story up just a little bit. So we were at the old saloon, and the gal comes to us. Me and Shannon were in line for the porta potties, just living the dream. And she comes up to us, and she goes, hey, you two look like a couple I know. I was like, oh, yeah? And she's like, yeah, Shannon. She grabbed Shannon. She's like, you look like my friend, April. She's a single mom with a couple boys. I'm like, by golly, you got her nailed right there. She's like, this is my wife Shannon, or my wife April. She's like, well, you look like my friend Georgie, a helicopter pilot. I was like, oh, boy, how did you guess? I was like, I am one of the world's best helicopter pilots there is. So anyway, so we came to these terms with, we now called ourselves April and Georgie. So everything we went into, we signed the guest books, walked into this wake. So back to Victor. Walked into Victor, into this, I think it was a Piggly Wiggly. Was that what the bar was? I don't know, it's something weird. Anyway, they're having this wake for Mike Myers. And we walk in there, we sign the guest book. April and Georgie, love you forever. Sorry about your death. We walk up there. Shannon goes through the line like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, I'm sorry, but I really loved him in Austin Powers. And I'm like, April. I was like, whatever's happening right now. And then she followed up with like, is the pizza for everybody? And we stayed at that wake, and we drank and had a great time with the family. No clue who they were. No clue what was going on. Had to get a ride over to the next bar. I think Kira had to come get us. I'm pretty sure she did, yeah. It was a good time. That was Shannon. We just, jokes, fun, screwing with people, and moving on. So I just want to share that. That was a fun part of our life, and spent a lot of time with Shannon, and she will be dearly missed.
This is hard. My name's Heather, and I worked with Shannon in the emergency department years ago when she first came to Livingston Healthcare, and I think anybody in healthcare knows how much we bond, and we're just each other's family. And she was always that person you wanted at the trauma. Good times and bad. Shannon always made things better and was an amazing nurse and friend to work with. And the term shenanigans is true, because, all of you ED staff and lab and radiology and everybody I know has been touched by Shannon, because she was real and gave the best care ever. And I don't think Livingston Healthcare will find another nurse like her. And I just feel really lucky to have been able to work with her. And lastly, I will just say one of her last texts to me and Jason Payton, she loved you so much. I remember her bringing you through the emergency department when you were little, and one of her last texts to me just said, make sure you love the shit out of your kids. And I just know she loved you so much. And Shannon just helped so many people in her career. And I just feel lucky to have known her and work alongside her.
Well, I'd like to start out by introducing myself. My name's Jim Willis. Some of you know me. My wife took care of Shannon both times during her transplants. But of all the things that my wife read of her accomplishments and her degrees and everything, the thing that many people don't know is she was a founder. And she founded 2 organizations while I've known her. The first, surprisingly, happened at a basketball tournament in White Sulphur. And during a break, we were a little thirsty, so all of us headed over across the street to an establishment, and Peyton was going to hang out with friends at the tournament, and he asked his mom, "Where are you going?" And she's like, we're going to the book club. So we go over and have a couple, and then we come back to watch the rest of the tournament. And we were going to, after the tournament, we were all going to go have dinner there in White Sulphur. And we go across the street, and Peyton's with us this time. And he goes in, and she's like, there's no books in here. So from that day forward, all of our extracurricular activities during the countless games and that we were with Shannon at, it became known as Book Club. And she is the founder of the book club. The second, again, started at a basketball tournament. We were in Butte and had a long break, so we were looking for things to do. And Nick, who you just met, he found us a tour. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with Butte's history. And well, the tour was of the Dumas house. It was the last remaining house of ill repute in the state, we found out during our nice long tour. And he showed us in the back there used to be numerous locations to ply their trade. It was called Venus Alley. Well, Shannon, as another extracurricular event, decided we were going to go to the roller skating rink. Well, while we were there, Nick decided we were going to get rub-on tattoos and become a gang, and Shannon founded the Venus Alley Rollers. So, among the other things, she's a founder. And it'll be missed. She was the center of a lot of the fun times we had, and it's just hard to think about going on without her. But just that's where I always come back to, are those fun times that we had, and just remember that. So, thank you.
Try to be really brave. All right. I usually don't speak into a microphone. So my name's Shannon Vincent, and I've heard about book club, but what I heard was, you read books, we don't. And okay. So one of the things I've really been reflecting on in this past horrible month is how many circles SV, that's what we called her in the ER because I'm also named Shannon, I called her SV, and how many circles and how deeply her enriched her life was. That when I started thinking about this, I started thinking about the woman, every October she'd drive to Butte with a latte. At these circles of her cousin that was in Great Falls. And that her legacy lives on in that way. I'm getting a little bit flustered. But I guess it's so rare to meet somebody that truly sees you for who you are, and SV was that person. No matter what time of the night or day I would call her or she would call me, she'd always say, "What are you doing?" And I'm sure that has happened to all of you. But that was weird that the lights went down. Now I feel like I'm supposed to deliver something profound. But it just being seen like that is something that is so rare, and that she held that. She held that for the friends in her community, for people that she worked with in the past, women I heard stories about going to college with, her family. And I just think that that's so commendable that I don't know how to put that all together. And so I think it's with great honor that we all stand in this room. And with that, to the boys, there are so many people that I hope you utilize over the next 10, 15, 25 years and just step out and say, what was she like? What were the most obnoxious comment you ever heard from her? Because, babes, some of us will tell you. It might not be the right time, but we will tell you. And I'm just honored to have been her friend and honored that we shared snark and we shared sarcasm and we shared trauma and we shared those exams and we shared all of it together because she's irreplaceable. I don't have anybody else like that. And I'm sure that that hole is existing in all of you too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Winters with Casey Hagemeister and Casey Shantz. We all met Shan in Miles City at college, and I can legitimately say those were some of the best times of my life. And to meet some girls like this, and Shannon, some of you that are in the back there, probably all around here that I haven't even seen yet, I will be forever grateful to know what friendship like that feels like and means. So I'll quit being a sap and they're gonna share some funny stories, but she was like the good, the bad, and the ugly friend. It didn't matter, she was gonna be there.
So mine's not gonna be quite as sappy as Megan's. To know Shannon was to love Shannon. That statement just sticks through and through. One of our favorite stories that's appropriate for today was my bachelorette party. We rented a limo and we decided to go bar hopping. We had a sober driver, so we ended up in Forsyth, Montana. And if very many of you know, there's 3-4 bars in Forsyth, not a lot. So we went into the Ranger? Yeah, I don't know, it's changed names since then. Anyways, you're going to this bar, and there are some Caledonian dancers in there. And I don't know if they had a meeting or whatever it was, but Shannon said, I want to wear one of their skirts. I don't think that's going to happen. No, I want to wear one of their skirts. Well, an hour or two went by, and she had, no kidding, talked this man out of his kilt in the middle of the bar. He stood there in his boxers, yep, as she is smiling from ear to ear with a sombrero and a kilt wrapped around herself. And she is like a little kid that just stole something. She was so happy. She pranced around the bar forever. And this guy was finally like, ma'am, could I have my kilt back? I'm sick of sitting in my underwear in the bar. But that's just who Shan was. If she was there, there was fun. There may have been some tears because you were probably laughing so hard, but there was also tears because she was one of the people that, in the good times and the bad, you went to. And boys, I hope you know that, and I hope you remember how loving and fun and strong and determined and persistent your mom was. And on those bad days, you just gotta grate your teeth and have a tear or two, but she instilled all that in you, and you're just like her. And these will be tough days, but you are strong like her. And she's up there smiling right now of how far you've already come with all of this, so thank you.
Well, I think I can tell you a little bit of a story that most of you probably don't know. We've got a ranch about 3 miles east of Clyde Park, and a few years ago, Shannon decided that her boys should be in the pig business. So she commandeered her dad, the boys' grandpa, and myself to put together a pig pen, complete with a shed. And one day in the spring, here come a few little pigs. I think they were furnished by Will Malcolm's outfit, but it got to be quite a contest between their grandpa and their mother, who was really managing the show. But by golly, every day Shannon would see to it that those boys got out there before school, took care of those pigs. We had a little shop that we kept warm, so that's where they'd keep all their pig clothes. And of course, they'd have to change before they went to school. But I do remember one little time we put a dead mouse in Shannon's boots. But if you knew Shannon, she just took it like, this is what goes on with me all the time. And she dumped that mouse out and went about her business, and no more was said about it. But anyway, that went on for several years. I don't think the boys were quite as enthralled with it as Shannon and their grandpa was, but they didn't have much choice. They went along with it, and of course, the ultimate reward was the fine prices they got at the 4-H sale each year. So that kind of kept Shannon and the boys interested in it. But anyway, I thought that was a little story that most of you didn't know too much about. So thank you.
I'm glad all of that is on a recording. For sure. In times like these, we speak of a legacy, thinking about a person's life. Many people think a legacy is what you leave in a will, and that it's real estate, and it's houses, and it's a bank account, and things like that. It's what you have when you leave. But that's stuff. That's worldly goods that rust and get lost and get old or fade away. It's my belief that a real legacy is the way we live our lives so that others may be inspired and helped by what they learned from us. That is a legacy. The words I heard from Shannon's family and what we have heard here today, that's her legacy. Of course, she had her moments. I mean, we've heard some of her behavior at basketball games and other sporting events. You may not remember, but the coaches and the referees do. The other thing I would want to say, that some of you that are here today may not remember, this was before like cell phones and Google, what I'm going to tell you. We had dictionaries. Webster's Dictionary. Hardly any pictures. But then encyclopedias came out, and encyclopedia salesmen came out. And all of a sudden, all of us could have in our homes with $11 a month for 16 years to pay for them. We had encyclopedias with pictures. And there would be the example of the word, and then there would be a picture. And as I visited with the family, I thought, Shannon would be great in an encyclopedia. I mean, her picture would describe words. And here's some of them that I heard. Yellow legal pad. Incredible. Incredible. She taught me how to be a mom. She was an incredible friend and an incredible mom. Adventurous. Out of the blue, she'd say to you, have you ever been to Seattle? Like tomorrow, shall we go? Disneyland the day after tomorrow? Always adventurous. Do you want to go here or do you want to go there? And even Las Vegas more than once. Or in the mountains. Or day trips. She was legendary at day trips. She was adventurous. And she was fun, you can tell that. A fun mom, a fun friend, her shenanigans, and can stay up all night doing things. And I was told that she could talk her way out of anything, with anybody, anytime. She was fun. And then she was generous. Lots of best friends. Isn't that a neat statement? Lots of best friends. Her time was not about her. It was about Peyton and Jace and the people that she could care for. Always, always over again. Incredible, adventurous, fun, generous. Through all of those, her legacy is for us to remember. There was another word that came up that night, warrior. And I looked it up. It says a warrior is a person who shows or has shown great vigor, courage, or aggressiveness as in combat, athletics, and adversities in life. Arthur Carlos Cassandra said, "Nobody is born a warrior. In the same way, nobody is born average. We make ourselves into one or the other." That was Shannon. Shannon met her life in so many ways as a warrior, way above average. I heard a phrase earlier this year, and I looked it up yesterday to see who I needed to give credit to for who said it first. It was Scott O'Neill. He owns a couple sports teams and several entertainment companies. And he said, "Be where your feet are." That struck me, and I have been trying to practice that for the last few months. Be where your feet are. And I thought that is such a description of Shannon. She was present in the moment of wherever she was. She was a perfect example of be where your feet are. This guy that wrote that said, "Making the most of each moment and ridding ourselves of the toxic habit of constantly looking forward to the next thing." I'm not going to ask for hands, but we're guilty of that so many times, to not be present in the moment. And that's a legacy that we can learn from Shannon, that she was present where her feet were. Could we as friends and family let that be our legacy from Shannon, to emulate, practice, and choose? Be where your feet are. Make a choice to live in today. Peyton and Jace can so testify that this was their mom. And they will never, ever, this is a treasure in the world today, more important than anything else, that you knew your mom loved you. And I'm telling you, when you know that you have a family member that sticks with you and loves you, it will carry you through the worst days in life by knowing great is love, and knowing that people love you. She was present. She was there for them. And I want you all to hang on, to cling to those memories. Your mom, one of a kind, packed more love and generosity, hard work, never giving up, with hope and courage and fun, and her years so much better than so many of the rest of us. Her legacy will be your legacy, Peyton and Jace, because we see it in you already. When we are around you, we see that in you now. And I want you to continue to let that grow in you. Fun, hope, generosity, courage, and love. And all of us can be worriers, or we can be warriors, right? We can be worriers, or we can be warriors. And Shannon had a lot of things in her life coming at her job. I mean, all kinds of things, just the traveling she did everywhere. She could have had a lot of things to worry about, but she did not. It's what the guy said, you make a choice to be a warrior instead of average. So many of the things that we really worry about don't matter in the light of life today. When we come into a place like this, it's a time for us to examine ourselves and choose to leave here a different way than we came in because of her legacy. And you can see what it brought by this room full of people. Shannon's legacy for us: never give up. Never give up. Treasure each day you have now. And remember, you too can make a choice to be where your feet are. Should we pray? Lord, I just thank you for this legacy with Shannon. And Lord, I just ask that you would pour that out on all of us, that we can make this place, this world, a better place, because this world is a better place because of her life. In your name we pray. Amen. Stacy, would you come?
My name is Stacy, and Shannon was a dear friend of mine. These brave gals are all nurses. We're all nurses who have worked shoulder to shoulder with Shannon during her career. Sorry. This is the Nightingale Tribute in honor of Shannon's nursing practice. Nursing is a calling and a lifestyle. It is a giving of oneself to enhance the lives of others. Nurses rely on each other for teamwork and collaboration in our efforts of caregiving. It is appropriate that we honor our colleagues not only during their career, but also at the end of life's journey. Nurses here today join together to honor our colleague Shannon and her lifetime commitment to caring. We acknowledge her nursing practice and note that her accomplishments can only be measured in the lives she affected through knowledge, dedication, and caring. At this time, we'd like to invite all nurses who are able to stand in Shannon's honor.
Sorry, I don't have my readers on, so. In unison, all of us are going to go, or we'll each say a line and ask all the nurses. Hopefully you got the piece of paper on the way in. Please join us in response to "She was there." When a calming presence was all that was needed, she was there.
In the excitement and miracle of birth and the mystery and loss of life,
She was there.
When a silent glance could uplift a patient, family member, or friend, she was there.
at those times when the unexplainable needed to be explained, she was there. When the situation demanded a swift foot and a sharp mind,
She was there. When a gentle touch, a firm push, or an encouraging word was needed. In choosing the best one from the family's thank you box of chocolates.
To witness humanity, its beauty in good times and bad, without judgment, she was there. To embrace the woes of the world willingly and offer hope, she was there.
And now that it is time to be at the greater one's side, she is there.
Shannon, we honor you this day and present these white roses to symbolize our appreciation for the privilege of being our nurse colleague. Will the nurses come forward and present your white rose at Shannon's honor?
I think it would be appropriate at this time to applaud our nurses. We thank you. We thank you. Back in olden days, when someone in your family or in your community would go from this life, and there would need to be a ceremony. Most often in those days, whether it was the wagon trains or even in the old days of settling Park County and all these other places, people would gather around the grave, and they would read the 23rd Psalm and say a prayer, sometimes sing a hymn. And we are going to do that today. You are invited out to the Clyde Park Cemetery. We'll leave about 4 o'clock, and we'll traverse out there together. And we will be doing that reading of the 23rd Psalm there. But we know that all of you can't make it there. And so we wanted to do that today. And so we will read Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures, and he leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. One time when I was studying this, I thought, it's sure interesting that he maketh and he leadeth us beside still waters sometimes. And then you know what I thought? Maybe he maketh and leadeth because we don't stoppeth and thinketh. I pray that when you go from here today, that you will just say a prayer to the Lord yourself. Lord, help me to do better in following you and helping each other. And just a prayer of amen. We are going to have a song at this time.
It's just a dry old hillside about a mile south of town, where now and then we gather to lay a good friend down. We never planned to go there, and we never know who's next. We recall each time we've been there, paying tribute to the blessed. It's where we keep all the gold from our valley. It's filled with memories and friends, and we cherish them every time we visit, knowing someday we'll be back again. Some were friends, some were family, and some we barely knew. But their lives have touched this valley, from them we all grew. We hope their good influence will help us carry on, that they would still be proud of us, even though they now are gone. It's where we keep all the gold from our valley. It's filled with memories and friends, and we cherish them every time we visit, knowing someday we'll be back again. When we look up to the crazy Grand Mountains of the West, we found the perfect place to lay our friends to rest. It's where we keep all the gold from our valley. someday we'll be back again. Knowing someday we'll be back again.
Thank you for being here today. It means so much. I think we need a little bit of traffic control, even though there's nurses and firemen and all kinds of people that could help us. If you could make a way through the back door, if the family could go out first into that room, then you will be able to visit with them easier than in this crowded space. So family, if you would like to rise and go first to that door back there, then people will be able to greet you. Thank you so much. God bless you.